Good afternoon, Council. Thank you very much for allowing me the pleasure of speaking to you this afternoon on something that's very important to me personally. Cumberland Close, Kirriemuir. The names of the past have began life as Lindsay's Close, followed by Gillespie's Close, followed by Miller's Lane or Miller's Wynd. Not quite sure about that one. It was changed in the 20th century, 1909, by John Gordon, born Kirriemuir, 1854. John Gordon went to England and became very successful. Eventually he became the Lord Mayor of the City of Leeds, the Conservative Party Lord Mayor of the City of Leeds. He came back to Kirriemuir, and it was him that named it, along with many other streets in Kirriemuir. He named it after the Duke of Cumberland. I believe we have no doubt as to who the location was named after. It's why would be the question. Why would you name this the street? I think he paid homage to the Duke of Cumberland in naming this street. And it's up to you whether we continue to pay homage to this man to this day, which I think is outrageous, incredible. What I'd like to also come to now is the Gary Inn. The original Gary Inn sat on the site. And this is where I wouldn't say proof, this is all conjecture really, but in the excellent book, The Regality of Kirriemuir, Alan Reid mentions the overnight stay of the Duke of Cumberland in the Gary Inn. This is also in another publication called Thrums and its Glens. It mentions Cumberland's overnight stay in the Gary Inn too. So I think this in some way was reason for John Gordon then to name it Cumberland Close. Now, when you go around to Cumberland Close, Millennium Red sandstone globe of hope is there amongst the decorative flagstones, which is like a walk to look at these. Kirriemuir, you've got J.M. Barrie, you've got Hugh Munro, the man who pointed out all the Munros. You have the Cameron family, who were very musical. You have Bon Scott, Charles Lyell, Charles Melvin, and Richard Burton. These three men won the Victoria Cross, fighting for good against evil, 1914 to 1918, 1939 to 1945. The Duke of Cumberland's sign faces these flagstones, and it makes me physically sick to think of these men giving their all for their country, winning the Victoria Cross, and this monster's sign is shining down on them. In this day and age, I think it is beyond belief that we continue with this. I had a very lengthy conversation with the Vice Principal of Glasgow University, Murray Pittock, a renowned historian, author of more than a dozen books called Culloden. Dear Scott, he emailed me the following day after the telephone conversation. Dear Scott, thank you for contacting me regarding the renaming of Cumberland Close in Kirriemuir. I understand that this name dates from the 20th century and not from Cumberland's own day. This in itself is quite surprising, as the Duke's statue was removed from Cavendish Square as early as 1868, and from Emmett Square, in what is now Birr, County Offaly, in 1915, when Ireland was of course still part of the United Kingdom. The name Culloden was obliterated from the Cumberland obelisk in Windsor Great Park during the reign of Queen Victoria on her authority. She was heard to say, "In my heart I am a Jacobite." The perpetuation of the Duke's memory was seen as disrespectful to the record of Scottish regiments under the Crown and to the royal family's desire to unite themselves more closely to Scotland. This man died in shame at 44 years of age, of obesity and gluttony. The man was a disgrace. On the 19th of December 1746, not long after Culloden, a London pamphlet, The Butcher, was printed as an attack on the Duke, and the British government refused to endorse the methods he had championed in the army for use in Scotland. The instructions were to effectively wipe out and destroy any semblance of life in the Highlands, in what could be described as a genocide of sorts, played out by royal soldiers, setting alight to homes, murdering, imprisoning and raping as they meticulously carried out their instructions. This is the name that sits in Kirriemuir to this day on 3 different signs. Cumberland Close, celebrating the life of this man, this monster. The cost of this, I know that the council is strapped for money. We always are, aren't we? I have been gifted £500 by an anonymous donor who wishes to remain unnamed, and that will pay for the signage to be done if this was to be carried forward. Graham Day was interviewed in the Times, as I was, in October. The Times ran a very sympathetic article, and Graham Day said, where is he? Basically, he said that to rename it Bazoki's Close was, in his opinion, far more apt than what we have at this minute in time, the signage of a mass murderer. I'd like to close this today. You will notice something today, something unusual. I wear a black tie today. Not because today is a particularly sombre day, but I wear it in memory of all the poor souls who were raped, tortured and slaughtered, man, woman and child, at the hand of the butcher, William Augustus, Duke of Cumberland. I would urge you to do the right thing and vote to expunge any trace of this monster from our beautiful wee red toon of Kirriemuir. Thank you, Council.
Thank you very much. We'll now